Hello everyone and welcome to our live session here today for our MSc in Tourism and Heritage programme here at the University of Glasgow's School of Social and Environmental Sustainability. My name is Amy. I'm delighted to welcome you all here today to this live session. We're going to be answering all of your questions, so please keep sending them in. We've already gotten so many, so thank you so much to those who have sent them in. If you have any questions for us, you can use the comment section below just now, or you can go to slido.com, slido.com, and use the code #UofG Dumfries. That's it on your screen right there. So if you have any questions for us, please do send them in. We'll get those answers to you. I am joined today, I am delighted to say, with our programme director. We have Dawn here. Welcome, Dawn. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we also have Sophia, who is here, and we'll welcome Sophia as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to have you both. Thank you for being here. We have so many questions to get to. For now, Dawn, I'm going to let you just take it away and tell us all about this wonderful programme, and then we'll get to some questions that have been sent in. So thank you so much. I'll let you take it away. Thanks, Dawn.
Okay, thanks very much, Amy. Can you hear me okay, first of all?
We are all good. Thank
Amy?
you so much. Yes.
Good. All right, here we go. MSc Tourism and Heritage, and I'm going to go through a few slides for you, let's say around 10 minutes, to give you an idea of what it is all about. So here you go, is a nice picture of Glasgow, although we're actually based in Dumfries, but let's move on. Dumfries is part of this world, as you can see, part of Scotland up there, and there we are in Dumfries. I think you've probably already had an introductory session, so I'll move on swiftly. This is the part of Scotland that we're based in. We're somewhere around here, and I've got some red dots there on the map, and these are places that we occasionally go on field trips to have a look at the nature and have a look at the historic building heritage in the area, which is very rich, by the way, in terms of heritage, and is fascinating for tourists. Some of the icons, inevitably Robert Burns, national poet. He lived in Dumfries for a reasonable part of his life, and he was farming here and so on. And we look to an extent into the relevance of Robert Burns and heritage in this region, as well as Scotland. I would point out, by the way, that we do deal with heritage from all around the world. So don't be worried that it'll be too Scotland focused. This is one of the small towns, Castle Douglas Food Town, having a festival. We look at that and we think about festivals as means to attract tourists and look at how to theme and brand a festival. Getting on to the programs, we actually have 3 programs here in the school: Tourism and Heritage, Management of Sustainable Tourism, and Sustainable Tourism and Global Challenges. So there will be other students studying slightly different tourism programs from yourselves here on the campus. The core courses for this particular program, Tourism and Heritage, are the following: Tourism and Regional Development, Heritage Interpretation and Development, Smart Tourism and Heritage, Advanced Research Methods, which means you must take these 4 courses. Then you will have 2 other taught courses that you can choose yourselves. This is from a list at the moment is Economics of Circular Tourism, Wildlife Tourism, Environmental Sustainability, Tourism Marketing, Events Management, and Sustainable Heritage Management. Moving on now, you will also, over the summer period, have to write either a dissertation or work on a work placement and write some words with that. With a dissertation, is a piece of research 12,000 to 15,000 words long, normally about 13,000, can be library based, doing, or maybe primary work doing original investigation. I would say most people choose to do library based work, using other resources. You can sort of research a topic of your own interest, which you will discuss with your supervisor, but we give a very wide range of topics to research that is really about what interests you. And quite often it's related to your own country. That might be anywhere in the world, Asia, Africa, America, and so on. So you do have a very wide option there. The work placement, you will find work normally in this country. It is possible to have a work placement in another country. It's a bit more complex when you do that. You will at this stage have to do a reflective report of 2,000 words and a placement report of about 7,000 words as assessment on the work placement. Now, briefly about myself, I've done work in the Caribbean, the Canary Islands and Scotland, research. I've written or edited a number of books, 6 books, or there's 5 books there. I think it's 6 books, latest count. Research interests, the anthropology of tourism, sustainable tourism development, globalizing and cultural change, and cultural heritage and identity. That's just a brief overview of me, one person who convenes this program. My colleagues have various interests and expertise, which cover the following areas: heritage, history, geography, marketing and management, economics, event management, sociology, international relations, and business studies. So we're a very broad-based group of academics who've got a lot of different interests, and hopefully you will have contact and meet with most of us during your time as a student here. Career prospects. Here's an idea for you: teaching on a tourism program at school or a college, university, or researching at a university or maybe at a private organization, working for national government or local authority, agencies, local councils, visit Scotland. In Scotland, historic Scotland are just part of this country, but inevitably in your own country, there will be probably many more opportunities. You could work for a private organization, tourism organization, a hotel management, work for a tour company, start your own tour company or a travel agency, or become a business consultant on your own. Or of course, you could diversify completely using your experience here at a postgraduate level. There you are. That's me. I will now play this PowerPoint and then go back to Amy.
Thank you so much,
Hi
Don.
there.
That's fantastic. Hi, thank you so much. Great to get that overview. I'm sure that answered a lot of questions already, so that's fantastic. Thank you. And we actually have some more questions that are being sent in, which is amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to welcome Sophia to join us here. And Sophia, I'm going to ask you just, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself just a little bit. So obviously you're studying tourism, different program, but you're studying tourism here at the University of Glasgow. Would you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself and your experiences so far?
Yeah, sure. So hello everyone. Sorry, my name is Sophia. As Esme said, I am studying sustainable tourism and global challenges here at Dumfries campus. Okay, the whole experience itself has been amazing. Believe me, the whole program is not going to disappoint you. So studying tourism here in Scotland has been actually a really rich experience regarding first the Scottish environment and how this culture actually, assess all of the tourism aspects. They are really linked to heritage, which I actually think is amazing that they are, having this new program because it fits really well. Also, I do have a lot of international classmates as well, which only enrich the whole experience regarding tourism because since everyone knows tourism is global, but it definitely is perceived as like really different depending on like which country you're coming from. So it means like we're not only having experience from like our own country and not also only from Scotland, but also from like other parts of the world, which definitely it's like a whole like super global experience.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds amazing. I'm going to bring Dawn back on to join us here because I think you bring up such an important point there about, an international cohort means you can actually learn from each other as well as the subject material and the lectures that you're talking with. And I think that's so special that you bring, especially about a subject like tourism. You want to be able to understand the different cultures, the different heritages and the different backgrounds people bring to the class. And I'm really glad you brought that. I mean, Dawn, from your perspective, you know, having an international cohort, how meaningful is that to you as a lecturer, and, you know, as a program director?
Well, it's really important, simply because tourism is something that is to do with people all around the world and traveling very often all around the world. And these countries are extremely diverse, not only in nature and built heritage, but the people, their cultures. Every country will have a diversity of cultures as well. And it's fascinating hearing from the different students about their experiences, their own countries, their own cultures, as well as their experience of tourists and what they want out of being a tourist. So it's a hugely complex, varied thing. But I encourage in my classes the students to speak up and talk about particular aspects of tourism. For example, what do they think are major assets in their own countries which will attract tourists? Or maybe what have been the impacts of tourists on their country? Maybe positive, maybe negative. Certainly, it improves the economy in many cases. There might be bad impacts on, let's say, some environmental things or some buildings and so on. But really, there's a hell of a lot to talk about, and people enjoy it. And the students learn from one another immensely, which is another dimension of these particular programs.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Thank you both so much for sharing your insights here. I think it is so important. And we have so many questions to get through, so I mean, we could talk about this forever. Just a quick reminder, if you have any questions for us, you're more than welcome to send them in on the comments section, or you can use #UofG on Slido.com. We will be monitoring the comment section and the questions for a little while longer after this session, so if you don't manage to catch us live, don't worry, please send in your questions anyway, and we will be monitoring them and we'll get some answers to you. But for now, we have a question, first of all, that was sent in via Slido, so thank you so much for that. Our first question here is, how much do assignment topics vary? I'd like to study different places around the world. Okay, so how much freedom do our students actually get when they're looking at assignment topics? As you say, they're to look at their own culture, maybe other cultures around the world.
Yeah, well, they get a lot of freedom. I try to mention that in my presentation, and especially if they come from a particular country or region or whatever, or they have an interest in another region, they are certainly at liberty, and I would encourage them to write that up in their assignment, their essay assignments. That's the main assignments on my program. So if they come from, let's say, somewhere in Asia, they could choose that country and certain elements of it. It might be different types of tourism, the impact, or a particular tourism site that they enjoy. Clearly, the topic must relate to the actual class. If they're doing tourism and regional development class, it must be about regional development or development in their own country or any other country. It could be more theoretical, like the possibility of sustainable development, or it could be focused on a particular type of, like, developing a festival or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's brilliant. Well, I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for sending it in. Thank you, Dawn. We have another question here, which is amazing. What support is there at the university for getting a job? I mean, the simple answer is, I think, is a lot. There's a lot of support. You've got the full force of the University of Glasgow's resources behind you. So we have, you know, all sorts of different programs and mentorship schemes and internship hubs and, oh gosh, so much, too many to mention, I think, of all the different support that you can access with us. I'd also love to mention, if I could, our postgraduate careers web pages as well. So the link for them is on your screen right now, glasgow.ac.uk/schools/SES/postgraduate/careers. Every single one of our programs at the school has a page like this. It tells you things like potential job titles and expected salaries and working conditions and hours and things like that, how to get into those jobs, current opportunities, but then also links to more things like the college support, our school support for careers and employability, and the wider university support systems as well. So just a little shout out there, because I think they're really cool pages to be able to go and look through and get more information. But I mean, Sophia, if I could come to you first, from your perspective, how much support has there been from a student's perspective? How much have you been able to engage with career development?
Oh, well, definitely. Well, from my experience, it has been actually like a lot regarding as Don said, we have the opportunity to make like a work placement or a dissertation. So it actually, like, for me, that's like the starting point. Plus, they also enhance, or like they have fairs about volunteering, which can also enhance more the experience of like, more like a skill job set for the career that we are pursuing. So I would like to say that, like, almost since like the first week you start, you are having a lot of like approaches to like what jobs you can get, what activities you can do, and they all come from the university.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I'm so glad that's been your experience. That's really, really reassuring to hear. And I mean, Dawn, from your perspective, from a program's perspective, how are we kind of supporting those kind of employment skills?
Well, we sort of offer generic skills, really. That's the only area that I can mention. But we think about tourism and we think about it in a business sense, which means that if a student goes for an interview, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Moreover, I would say one of the assessments we give is an oral presentation. And often the students who come from a different country, a foreign country, and English is their second language, this gives them opportunity to practice talking in front of an audience under a bit of pressure, it has to be said, and they always get through. And obviously, I take account for the fact that it's a second language. But ex-students have told me that this really helped them because it gave them confidence in speaking to a group of people, whether it's in English or whether it's in their home language, but just standing up and talking. And it's a skill that you need to acquire, I have to say. So that's one element. The other thing I would say more generally is most of our students are international, and historically on my courses, they've come from a huge variety, like 20 or 30 different countries. That might not be exactly the same now because the programs have changed. But I have found, because we have recently kept tracks of what our students are up to.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, for example, have given us details. And I'm really pleased to say the vast majority of them have found jobs in their own countries, eventually related to tourism. Not always directly, but related. And like I say, we've got the evidence, we've got the statistics now, which is really good. So I'm very impressed.
No, that's fantastic. It's great to hear as well. Our graduates going on to do such amazing things, and no, that's really helpful. Thank you both so much for your insights there. We've just had another question. As I'm looking over here because another question has just come in here. So let's bring this one up here. My background is more in business and management. Is this okay, or will I have lots of catching up to do? Brilliant question. I mean, Dawn, from your perspective, will there be lots of catching up with a business and management background?
No, not really. For the simple reason that this program is being developed so that it can be like an introduction to tourism and heritage to anyone who is interested in the subject matter. The only major thing I would say is as long as you're okay with writing essays of about 4,000 words and a dissertation of about 13,000 words, that might be the only stumbling block. But apart from that, I don't see that it will be a difficulty for you.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you for the question as well. We have another one here, and Sophia, I think this one's I'm going to come to you for this one. Is there university accommodation available? Now, the answer is an easy yes, of course. We have 3 university halls of residence in Dumfries, but Sophia, I believe you actually live in one of the halls, so I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So it was actually a really easy process contacting the university accommodation team. They were really helpful since the first email that I sent over. So they actually made you feel really, like they are there with you while you're looking for your accommodation, which is great since it can be scary from, like not knowing the country or like not knowing where you're actually going or not knowing Dumfries,
Yeah, of course.
But well, like my accommodation, I'm gonna tell the name. So it's Brook House. It's actually really comfortable, and the connections or the friendships that you make here at the uni accommodation, it's it's invaluable because they become a new family for you, since all of you are like all of us are experiencing the same stuff at the same time. So we really get together a lot here at the uni accommodation. And we also get to know like the other accommodations, sorry. So whether we make a reunion here or we made a reunion there, um, they are definitely available.
Mhm.
The only thing is that like I do follow like the time sets that they had on their webpage. And definitely do not be scared to reach out to them because they're going to be really communicative and really supportive on that.
Yeah, that's really good advice there, actually. Yeah, keep an eye on those web pages. There are deadlines for applying for accommodation. There's also email addresses and contacts that you can reach out to, as Sophia says. If you need any help, don't hesitate, just reach out. We're a really friendly team in the accommodation team, so we're here to help. Great advice though, and yeah, of course we have. So you're in Brook House.
Yeah.
We also have Laurie Now Hall, and we also have Dumfries Halls. So 3 options that you have here in Dumfries. Now I think Sophia, you're going to say Brook House is the best, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. No, they're all wonderful. All of our rooms, I should mention, are single occupancy and en suite. So you have your own room and your own bathroom, well, shower room as well. And then you share living room and kind of kitchen facilities, but you have your own bedroom and bathroom space. Which is really nice. That's great that we can offer that in all of our accommodations here in Dumfries. So thank you so much for sharing, Sophia. That's fantastic. We're going to move on to our next question here, which is, could I visit the campus before I start my programme? Again, a resounding yes, absolutely. We're more than happy to welcome anyone to campus if you want to come for a visit. We had a few students on campus recently, didn't we, Dawn, that we met with and were able to chat them through their offer and their admissions process and all that kind of stuff as well, which was really nice. And you can meet wonderful student ambassadors just like Sophia, who will show you around the campus and give you the grand tour and answer all your questions about what life is really like as a student at the University of Glasgow. So if you want to book a tour, you can book a private tour, a group tour, you can just get in touch, it's no problem. You can go to our website glasgow.ac.uk/Dumfries. Go on there, there's a big button that says book a tour, book a campus tour. You can go on there and come and visit our campus. Just, pick a day. You're more than welcome to come along and explore a little bit, and we'll answer any questions you might have. And I'm conscious of our time. I think we have time for one more question, and we've got this one here, so thank you so much for sending this in. Are there any recommended readings before classes start that you could share? Love someone that's keen, that's eager to get going. That's fantastic. I mean, Dawn, from your perspective, anything that's a must read before they start classes?
I don't really suggest people have to read anything before the classes, but maybe you might want to have a look into some introductory reading by someone called Peter Burns on the anthropology of tourism, for example. That could be a very useful thing. Valine Smith on hosts and guests. These are all good basic elementary introductions. Or you could have a look at something by Michael C. Hall on tourism, and he's got a huge oeuvre, as it were, of books that he's published. These are well-known writers in tourism and the social science of tourism. Or you could try John Urry, URRY, on tourism. These are, but don't feel you have to. There will be plenty of time to start reading and being prepared.
Yeah, definitely. No, thank you so much, Don. That's fantastic. I mean, Sophia, from a student's perspective, any advice on your readings, keeping up with your readings during classes and during the year? Anything you'd like to share about that?
Okay, so definitely, you do have to read. That's okay. Definitely read. That would be like my advice. You cannot skip them, because each of the classes, they do have a reading content. Maybe it's not a reading; it can be like a video or like a different resource. But definitely, do it. Because it's gonna make you feel way more prepared. You're gonna understand way better what the teacher is gonna have, and you can actually take advantage of the class or of the fact that the lecture is right there, like in front of you, so you're able to make the right, well, like not right questions, but like the questions that you actually have. You
Yes.
know, it's like totally different from like coming to a class and like not knowing anything than actually coming to a class and be like, oh, I actually read about this, but like my real question is, and then
Yeah.
like have the professor that right there to actually answer you.
What I
Fantastic
would
advice.
suggest, if you want to sort of be prepared and you're coming onto my program, Tourism and Heritage, it might be worth as a student to think about a topic that really interests you for one of the two courses, tourism and regional development, and also heritage interpretation and development. Because I will ask you to think about a topic. In the first week, in the first class, I say, has anyone got any topics they want to explore in their 4,000 word essay? And like I said, it might be about some aspect of developing tourism in your country or another country, or it might be about a certain area of heritage, buildings, or like a nature reserve, or how to preserve heritage in relation to tourism. So if you can think of maybe a case study or a topic, that'll be really useful. And you can maybe think about it and read around it in terms of what's happened to it in tourism over the past years or whatever. That could give you a bit of a head start and make you think about what really interests you about tourism and heritage.
Brilliant advice. Thank you both so much. Really, really helpful. And like you say, a little bit of a head start there for your first class on day one. Have a little think about that topic. That's great advice. Thank you so much. I'm afraid that's all we actually have time for today. Thank you so much for your questions. As I say, we are still here, so please use the comment section, use the Slido, send in your questions to us, and it will be monitored. We'll get your answers to you. And as always, you can always get in touch with us. You can go to glasgow.ac.uk/Dumfries. Get in touch with us. Come visit the campus, whatever you want to do to make yourself feel more comfortable about coming to join us in September. But for now, I will say thank you so much to Sophia and to Dawn. Thank you both so much for joining us today, for your input, for your insights as well. It's so valuable. We're going to say bye for now, but I will say, we very much hope to see you all on campus in September for this amazing programme, MSc Tourism and Heritage. And for now, thank you for your time and see you later. Bye for now. Bye everyone.
Bye.